There are many types of gambling which are of concern in our society today, but poker machines are still the form of gambling causing the most harm. We also know that online betting and sports betting are growing in participation rates and likely to cause very high levels of harm in the future. There are a huge range of social harms that result from gambling. Very significant impacts on people's mental health and well-being in the community, really significant impacts on relationships, and particularly gambling harm is a real contributor to family violence in our community. And there are also kind of community and workplace harms that occur when people are less able to perform well in their employment and less able to participate in a whole lot of community activities. Really, in order to minimise gambling harm in Victoria, we need to reduce accessibility to gambling products, particularly dangerous gambling products, and I think poker machines are up there as the number one. So the only way we're actually going to significantly reduce harm is to make sure poker machines are less dangerous and that they are less accessible. The internet obviously means that people effectively have a gambling venue in their pocket with their smartphone. That means that for people who are struggling with gambling, it can be very difficult to escape. But notwithstanding that, we still see the highest levels of harm coming from poker machines because they are so inherently dangerous in their design. Certainly there are really good services for people who are experiencing harm from gambling. The Gamblers Help Service is close by, it's accessible. Unfortunately, not enough people seek help, and I think there's still quite significant stigma around that. But we're lucky that we're a community, I think, that understands that the harm from gambling is driven by dangerous gambling products and not driven by individual choices. And if that message gets out, it's actually easier for people to talk about how they've experienced that harm, because it's not just the people who are gambling, it's their friends and family and their communities that also experience that harm. What we clearly see is that gambling operators target more marginalised communities and communities that are under higher levels of stress. So we systematically see the placement of more poker machines in communities that are less affluent and where there are fewer opportunities for alternative recreational and social opportunities. And that's really problematic, it's very predatory, and that's the sort of thing in Darebin that we'd like to see stop. I think the fact that the venues are everywhere, they're on our street corners, it's the pubs and the clubs that are in very prominent locations, and they often have quite enticing marketing for people to actually go into the venue. So they're not allowed to advertise the poker machines, but these venues have a whole lot of kids eat free type of events, morning melodies, a lot of other things that actually draw people into these venues under pretext of offering something to the community when they know that they get their money back tenfold in gambling losses. Look, absolutely. We've had a lot of really positive feedback. As a council, we're very active in this space. We get really positive feedback from our community. They tell us they want us to do more to reduce harm. They tell us there are too many poker machines in our municipality, and that's why we've got the strongest, what I believe is actually the strongest gambling policy in Victoria in terms of trying to break the link between gambling venues and community clubs, trying to get the message out to our community clubs and to our communities that these are not safe venues. That free meal for your kids, it comes at a cost. If not to you, then it comes at a cost to other people in our community. I think our community really understands that. They ask us to do more, and that's why we take the path that we have. I think that really we should adopt an approach to gambling like the approach we take to tobacco, which is that you can't advertise it at all. We made that decision in relation to tobacco decades ago. It's time to make the same decision in relation to gambling. There's no reason to be promoting a product that causes so much harm in our community. The health impacts of gambling are almost as significant as the health impacts of alcohol or major depressive conditions. Why would we advertise this product? It's not an essential service, it's not a necessary product, and there's a lot of harm that could be avoided, particularly to young people who are quite impressionable when they see some of that advertising.